The Fall of Lucifer, Ambition, Arrogance, and the Price of Pride, Part 1. How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning! How you are cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nations! For you have said in your heart, I will ascend into heaven, I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, I will also sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest sides of the north. 14 I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, I will be like the Most High. Yet you shall be brought down to Sheol, to the lowest depths of the pit. Welcome. Today, we are tearing open one of the most misunderstood passages in the entire Bible, Isaiah 14 verses 12 to 14. For centuries, people have read this text and stopped at the surface. They see a prophecy against the king of Babylon and think, okay, that's history. That's about a guy who ruled a city 2,600 years ago. And yes, that is the historical layer. But if you stop there, you are missing the spiritual earthquake happening underneath the text. Let's get the context straight immediately. Isaiah was speaking to the nation of Israel, warning them about the coming judgment of Babylon. The king of Babylon was a tyrant who crushed nations, shook the earth, and refused to open the house of prisoners. He was the human vessel of arrogance. But the Holy Spirit, through the prophet, uses this human king as a mirror to reveal the true source of that arrogance. The king of Babylon was just the shadow, the real figure is Lucifer, the spiritual architect of rebellion. This passage reveals a tragic arc that repeats itself in every generation. It starts with pride, a subtle shift in the heart where you decide you are the center of the universe. It escalates to rebellion, a calculated campaign to overthrow the established order. And it ends in divine judgment, the inevitable crushing of that pride. The king of Babylon fell, but the spiritual power behind him fell first. And the question we must answer today is, do you understand the difference between the man on the throne and the spirit pulling the strings? Because if you don't, you are walking blind into the same trap. The identity of the fallen one. Let's identify our subject. The text calls him Helel ben Shahar. This is Hebrew. Helel means shining one or light bringer. Ben Shahar means son of the morning. In Latin, this became Lucifer. This was not a name of shame, it was a title of supreme glory. He was the highest of the angels, the morning star that announced the day. He was perfect in his ways until iniquity was found in him. But who is this being? To understand the depth of his fall, we must look at three other scriptural references that confirm his identity beyond just this one passage. First, Ezekiel 28 verses 12 to 15. Here, God speaks to the king of Tyre, but the language goes far beyond the human king. It says, "You were the seal of perfection, full of wisdom and perfect in beauty. You were in Eden, the garden of God." No human king was in Eden. This is a description of a created being who was perfect until pride corrupted him. Second, Revelation 12 verses 7 to 9. This is the cosmic battle. It describes a war in heaven where the great dragon was cast out, that serpent of old, called the devil and Satan. It explicitly links the fall from heaven to the entity that deceives the whole world. Third, 2 Corinthians 11 verse 14. Paul warns us, for Satan himself transforms himself into an angel of light. This confirms that the enemy is not a monster in a cave, he is a being of light who disguises his true nature. So, the contrast is stark. On one side, you have the glory of a rising star, a being of light who was meant to reflect God's glory. On the other side, you have the darkness of a fall, a being who tried to be the light and ended up in the pit. The tragedy isn't just that he fell, it's that he fell from the highest place of honor to the lowest place of shame. He went from being the morning star to being the prince of darkness. And the only thing that changed was his heart. The 5 I will statements, the heart of rebellion. Now, we get to the engine of the fall. It wasn't a mistake. It was a campaign. The text gives us 5 specific declarations, 5 I wills that tore a perfect being apart. This is the blueprint of rebellion. Let's break them down, one by one, and see how they apply to us today. 1. I will ascend into heaven, challenging divine order. Psalm 139 verse 8, if I ascend into heaven, you are there. The psalmist says if we go up, God is there. But Lucifer said, I will go up to take over. He didn't want to serve in heaven, he wanted to own it. He looked at the throne of God and decided he wanted to sit there. Here's a real-life example. Think of a child who decides they don't need their parents' rules anymore. They say, I will make my own rules. That is the first step of pride. It's the belief that you are the authority in your own life, not God. 2. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God, claiming authority over angels. Job 38 verse 7, when the morning stars sang together, and all the sons of God shouted for joy. The stars here represent the angelic hosts. Lucifer wasn't just trying to be equal, he was trying to be superior. He wanted to crush the very beings who worshipped him. He wanted to be the boss of everyone, even the angels. Here's a real-life example. This is the spirit of supremacy. It's the leader who demands to be the only one praised, who crushes anyone who challenges them. It's the belief that your authority is greater than the authority of the Creator. 3. I will sit on the mount of the congregation on the farthest sides of the north, usurping God's place of worship. Psalm 48 verse 2, beautiful in elevation, the joy of the whole earth, is Mount Zion, the city of the great King. The mount of the congregation is the seat of divine judgment. He wanted to be the judge of God's people. He wanted to set the rules, define the truth, and decide who is saved and who is lost. Here's a real-life example. This is the person who says, I know better than the Bible. They try to redefine what is right and wrong based on their own feelings. They sit in judgment of God's people, claiming the right to define reality. 4. I will ascend above the heights of the clouds, attempting to transcend creation. Isaiah 55 verse 9, for as the heavens are higher than the earth, so are my ways higher than your ways. The clouds were the veil of God's presence. He wanted to break through the veil, to go where no created being was meant to go. He wanted to be untouchable, unreachable, and unaccountable. Here's a real-life example. This is the spirit of isolation. It's the person who says, I don't need anyone. I don't need God. I am above the consequences. They try to live in a world where they are the only law. 5. I will be like the Most High, the ultimate act of pride. Genesis 3 verse 5, for God knows that in the day you eat of it your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God. This is the goal. Not to serve, not to obey, but to be God. To have the power, the glory, and the authority of the Almighty without the submission. This is the lie that started it all. Here's a real-life example. This is the ultimate sin. It's the desire to be the center of the universe. It's the belief that you can define your own destiny without God. It's the lie that says, I am my own God. Each of these I wills is a step towards self-worshiping. It starts with a desire to be better, then to be equal, and finally to be God. And the result is always the same: destruction. The divine reversal, from height to pit. But here is the hard truth that pride never sees coming. You can climb as high as you want, but gravity always wins. The text doesn't say, maybe you will be brought down. It says, yet you shall be brought down. That word, yet, is the period at the end of the sentence of rebellion. It is the divine full stop. No amount of power, no amount of I wills, can stop the hand of God from executing judgment. The ascent was a lie, the descent is the reality. Where did he go? To Sheol, to the lowest depths of the pit. Sheol is the Hebrew word for the grave, the place of the dead, the realm of silence. He wanted to be like the Most High, so he was sent to the lowest place possible. This is the great reversal of the Bible. The one who wanted to be the highest is now the lowest. The one who wanted to rule the nations is now a prisoner in the grave. The distance between the throne of God and the pit of Sheol is the exact distance pride travels when it falls. The theological point is simple: no rebellion succeeds in the end. God's sovereignty prevails. The enemy thought he could win by force, but he lost by his own arrogance. The fall is complete, and the world is left to stare at the wreckage. Is this the man? This is the end of the story for the tyrant. The world looks at him and asks, is this the man who made the earth tremble? And the answer is a resounding no. He is just a shadow in the pit. But if this is the end of the story, then we are all doomed. If the only outcome of human ambition is the pit, then there is no hope for the rest of us. We all have that I will in our hearts. We all have that desire to be like the Most High. So, how do we escape the fall? How do we avoid the same fate as the morning star? The answer lies in a different kind of descent. Not a fall from heaven, but a descent to earth. Not a rebellion, but a sacrifice. In part 2, we will uncover how the cross didn't just defeat the enemy, it transferred his authority to you. We will see how the prisoner is set free, and how you can walk in a power that the morning star could never understand. The fall of Lucifer is the warning. The sacrifice of Jesus is the way out. Don't let the fall be the end of your story. Join me in part 2, where we discover how the blood of Jesus turns the enemy's defeat into your victory. Until then, watch your heart. Guard your pride. And remember, the only way up is down. Thank you for spending this time with me. If this message of wisdom spoke to your heart today, I invite you to like this video. It helps this truth reach others who are lost in the noise. Please subscribe and hit the bell, so you never miss a new survival guide for your journey. We are building a community of truth, and I want you here with us. And if you know someone who is struggling, share this with them. You might just be the one to point them toward the light. I'll see you in the next video. Stay sharp, walk in wisely, guard your heart, and walk in the freedom of the cross.